Thank you for choosing to spend an hour of your Sunday with me. If you're ready, we'll start on in rock pose, Vadrasana, because our first asana dynamic movement will be in all fours. So I figured we would start here to center ourselves and to settle into this space. You are welcome to curl the toes under your shins or to simply sit peacefully in rock pose with our hands on our thighs, the palms are facing up, tall torsos, and we'll take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sighing it out, noticing the muscles in our faces soften, shoulders melting away from the ears, eyes open or closed, whatever feels better. Noticing the air expand the rib cage laterally and following the exhalation all the way through to the end. Allowing the breath to assume its natural rhythm in through the nose and out through the nose. Just taking a moment to notice the speed of the breath and the depth. Noticing the sounds of the space around us, the temperature and the smells. And getting a sense of the mood of our bodies and the energy that we're bringing to the mat today. Breathing in curiosity for our practice and the strength of our bodies. And exhaling any sense of judgment, competition, or expectation. Taking a moment to set an intention for today's practice, or possibly an affirmation that we may need in order to work through something that may have been challenging us this week. And blinking our eyes open and coming back to the space around us, we'll slowly transition into all fours, bringing our hands under our chest and our knees under our hips. Run through a very gentle series of cats and cows, starting with the tailbone, lowering and bending the lower back, arching, inhaling and gazing up. And on the exhale, rounding the tailbone, rounding each vertebrae, neck and head. And we'll continue this flow slowly, starting to add in motion and depth. Warming the spine gently. On our inhalations, we have the option to lift our feet off the mat, drawing the heels into the glutes. And on the exhale, we have the option to lift our knees off the earth, hovering in a type of bear pose. Slowly finding a flow that works for us, maybe hovering a little bit higher each exhalation, engaging the abdomen. Gazing back towards our feet, pressing the earth away into the shoulder blades. as we slowly start to make our way through into a down dog, adding extra strength to our legs and our arms. Maintaining our cat-cow dynamic flow. Let's do 2 more and meet up in down dog. Good. Meeting here in down dog, go ahead and pedal out the feet, lifting one heel at a time, bending one knee, shifting the weight left to right. Finding a speed and a shift that feels good for the body, checking in with the back of the legs, noticing any sensations we might have, any areas of tension we might be holding. One more big breath and then we'll come to neutral. Pressing both heels towards the mat. Finding grounding in our fingers and the knuckles pressing into the mat. And we'll go ahead and lift our left leg off the mat, reaching it up as high as possible. Pressing all of our weight into the right leg. Option here to bend the knee and rotate the hips open, stacking the knee on top of the hips. And we'll float through a plank sequence. Rotating back to center, bringing our left knee into our chest, floating into our plank. And extending the leg all the way back up. Option to extend straight, option to rotate and bend. Floating back to our plank on the inhale. Exhaling, extending back up, pressing the weight into our right heel. We'll float through this a few more times. Gaining length in the back of the right leg, strength in the abdomen and upper body. Floating to the flow and rhythm of our breath. Two more. Building strength in our wrists as we come forward in our plank. Last one here. We're going to come into our plank and then extend into our fallen star. Left leg comes under the body, right foot pivots. We lift our right arm over top. Finding somewhere to gaze at. Lifting the hips high, calm strength. Checking in with the rhythm of our breath. Reaching tall between the left hand and the right. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and we rotate it back to center, curling the left knee back into our chest, rotating our right foot, and we extend the right foot back. Pressing into the right heel, lifting the left leg high, bending, rotating, and opening the hips. Well done. Rotating back to our down dog, planting our left foot, Go ahead and pedal that out. Oh, yummy. We reset, taking a few deep breaths in here. Finding stillness. Go ahead and lift the left hand off of the earth and reach it towards the right foot, right heel, right shin or knee. Wrapping it around. Getting a gentle twist of the spine. Drawing the left shoulder towards the earth. Gazing up. Maybe reaching a little bit farther down the leg, walking the fingers. For one more breath. Good, and then we'll replace the left hand, lifting the right, wrapping it around the left leg, wherever it meets naturally. Drawing the right shoulder towards the earth. Adding length to the back of the left leg, all the way from the lower back through the hip and the outside of the leg. Steady rhythm of breath. Maybe walking the fingertips down towards the ankle a bit. 2 more breaths. And we come back to our down dog. Ready to reset and repeat the sequence on our right foot. So reaching the right leg all the way up. Pressing our weight into our left heel. Finding grounding of our fingertips into the mat. Bending the knee, opening the pelvis. Stacking the knee on top of the hip. Taking a few breaths here before we start our dynamic plank flow. Now rotating back to center, we float on the inhale, tucking our right knee into our chest. And on the exhale, we press back, lifting our leg. Option to bend, option to maintain a straight leg. Floating with our breath, tucking the knee into the chest. Exhale, pressing back. Building our shoulder and wrist strength. Connecting the motion with our breath. And creating a little head squeeze at the same time. Two more, and then we'll float into our fallen star. Extending the right leg under the body and through, lifting the left hand, pivoting the left foot, finding stability here as we lift the hips up, reaching our hand. Calm strength. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and we rotate back to center, bringing the right knee all the way back under the chest, pivoting our left foot. And extending back, single leg down dog. Holding here. 2 more breaths, rotating, bending the knee, opening up the pelvis. There we rotate back to center, bringing our right foot back down to meet the left, pedaling it out, reset with a few clearing breaths. And then we'll come down into child's pose. Option to bring the knees wide, the toes together, and bring the hands behind the back, interlacing the hands, forehead comes to the earth, stretching out the wrists, opening up the arms and the chest. Deep breaths in here. Two more breaths. Letting the arms float back to the earth whenever they're ready to. And then we bring our hands back under our chest. We draw ourselves back up into all fours and we reset. Go ahead and circle around, finding a circular meditative motion. Again, checking in with the sensations and the energy of the body. As big or as little a movement as feels good. And then we'll switch directions gently, finding a flow, going in the opposite direction. Two more big breaths. Great. We come back to neutral. We're going to start adding in a vinyasa flow with different leg sequences each time through. Curling our toes under our shins, we step up into our down dog. Deep breaths in. And on the exhale, we lift the hips up, stepping into down dog. On the inhale, we're going to float into our plank. Exhale, lowering into chaturanga, wrapping the elbows into our chest and our side body. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, gentle back bend. Exhale, back into our plank. And down dog. Good. Lifting our left leg off the earth. We're going to step through into our first lunge. Low lunge here. Bringing our right knee to the earth. Inhaling, lifting our arms all the way up over our torsos. Holding here for a few breaths. On the next exhale, we forward fold, stepping back into our down dog. Exhaling, extending the left leg high. Inhale, we float to plank, bringing our feet to the earth. Vinyasa. Elbows come to the edges of our bodies. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, stepping back into our plank, then down dog. Great. Right leg floats off the earth, inhaling, stepping through into our low lunge. Left knee comes to the earth, finding stability, reaching our arms above our bodies. Slowly warming into our thigh muscles and hip flexors. One more breath. Exhaling, forward folding. Stepping back into our single leg down dog, extending the right leg. Good. Bringing the right foot back down, vinyasa. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing or cobra. Plank, down dog. We reset. Pedal it out, find stillness, take your breaths. The next lunge will be a low lunge with a side bend. So lifting our left leg off the earth, inhaling, floating through into our low lunge. Inhaling, one arm up and side bend over. Adding a little depth to our hip flexor, being gentle. And we come back to center. Vinyasa, extending through our down dog. Plank. Chaturanga at your own speed. Vinyasa always optional. Finding down dog or child's pose at any point that might suit us better. And we reset for our right leg, lifting it off the mat. Floating through, lunge. Finding stability, bringing our opposite arm up and side bending over. Adding depth, opening the hip flexor. Opening the hip joint. Steady rhythm of breath. Good, coming back to center. Floating through our vinyasa, optional, extending through our down dog to start. Plank, chaturanga, cobra upper facing. We meet up and down dog, taking a few clearing breaths. Always options to come into child's pose or down dog. The next lunge will also be low lunge, but this time a gentle rotation. Lifting our left leg off the earth. Stepping through. Finding our stability, planting the back foot, bringing our arms up parallel to the floor, opening up and reaching behind us, making sure that our shoulders are up above by our ears, gazing back towards the outstretched hand, hips are still forward facing. Great. Inhaling, reaching up, centering ourselves, hinging forward, back to our down dog, vinyasa optional. And we reset and repeat on the right leg, lifting it up. Floating through to our lunge, low lunge, planting the back foot, opening up into our twist. Arms are parallel to the floor. Activating our Ujjayi breath deep into the back of our throat, the nasal cavity, maintaining our inner peace and calm. Inhaling, reaching up, coming back to center. Exhale, forward fold, stepping into our down dog. Floating through vinyasa, optional. Keeping our bodies warm, building and strengthening. And we meet up and down dog for a few clearing breaths before stepping into a crescent lunge. Good. Back to our left side, lifting the left leg on the inhale. Exhale, gazing forward, coming up on the toes, stepping into a high lunge on the balls of the right foot. Crescent lunge, finding our lunge here, and then inhaling, reaching our arms above our shoulders, stacking them on top of the hips. Calm strength, reaching the torso tall. And we float back through. Coming into our down dog, holding here or floating through our vinyasa. Tucking the elbows into our sides, upward facing or cobra. Down dog. Resetting with the right leg. Inhale, lifting. Gazing forward, coming up on the toes of the left foot. Crescent lunge. Right leg comes through. Finding our stability. Inhaling, reaching the arms up. Equal stability in both legs. Hips are forward facing. We're up on the balls of the left toes. Tall torso, reaching tall. One more big breath. And we hinge forward, down dog. Vinyasa optional. And we reset. Well done, yogis. We have a few more sequences. Crescent lunge with a twist. An actual twist, not a crazy Kerri twist. Left leg comes up. Inhaling, gazing forward, stepping through, crescent lunge. And we rotate this time. The arms again are parallel over the lunge leg. Reaching tall. Long, extending from the shoulders. Equal strength between both legs. Lifting the knees of the right leg with our quadricep engaged. Steady rhythm of breath. One more breath. Inhaling, reaching up, coming back to center. Hinging forward, down dog, option of course of our vinyasa. Generating heat and strength. Inhaling, lifting our right leg, same thing. Gazing forward, stepping through, crescent lunge. Finding our stability, and then reaching our arms out from our shoulders. Checking in with our breath. Keeping our back leg strong. Good. Inhaling, reaching up, coming back to center. Exhale, hinging forward, planting our hands down dog. Option of vinyasa. We all meet in down dog. We take our few clearing breaths here. We have 2 more rounds. Warriors 1 and 2. Inhaling, lifting our left foot. Gazing forward, stepping all the way through. Warrior 1, planting and rotating our back foot. Finding stability here. Inhaling, reaching our arms tall. Warrior 1 or 1.5, whatever feels best on your lower back. Do that. Tall torso, elongating the side body. Checking in, making sure we can see our toes, maybe sinking a little bit deeper. Great. Back to center, exhaling, planting the hands, pivoting the back foot, down dog. Option to float through your vinyasa, option to hold down dog. And we repeat on the right side. Deep breath in, inhaling, lifting the right foot. Gazing forward, stepping through. Planting the left foot, pivoting, inhaling, reaching our arms up. Warrior 1 or 1.5. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. Calm strength. We only have 1 sequence left. Checking in with the toes, maybe sinking a little bit lower. Tall torso, reaching up to the sky. Great. Inhaling. Exhale, forward folding here. Stepping into our down dog, Vinyasa option. And we reset with our cleansing breaths before finishing off with Warrior Two and a sip of water. On the next inhale, we lift our left foot. We gaze forward, step through, pivoting our right foot, planting it, Warrior Two, reaching our arms long, extending from the shoulders, checking in with our toes. Hips are tucked under, the glutes are engaged, and we're reaching long. Dynamic tension through the entire body, feeling the rush of vitality through us, through our veins, in our breath, in our hearts. One more big breath here. And let's inhale, reach the arms up. Pivoting, rotating to center, planting the hands, down dog. Vinyasa optional. Last time through, right leg lifts on the next inhale. Gazing forward, stepping through, planting the back foot, extending the arms from the shoulders, tucking the hips under, engaging the glutes, reaching the fingertips. Checking in with the toes, sinking as low as we can. Steady rhythm of breath. Good. Next inhale, we lift our arms up above our shoulders. Exhale, forward folding, bring our hands to the earth, pivoting and extending our leg tall. Vinyasa, last time through. And we all meet up in down dog, taking a few cleansing breaths, rinsing it out or finding stability. And then slowly making our way into child's pose. Floating through, walking the hands long, rounding into the lower back and sinking the hips back. Option to shift left and right or to find stillness. Bringing the hands under the head. Maybe even rolling the forehead left to right. Whatever feels good at this point in your practice. Maybe even checking in with the sensations in the hips and the lower back, the energy that may have changed since the beginning of our practice. Deep breaths in, filling our lungs, expanding the ribcage laterally. Sighing it out. Two more just like that. As we reset and prepare ourselves for some standing sequences, but before that, let's get a sip of water. And we'll all meet back up into all fours. Taking a few breaths here while everybody meets up, having a sip of water. Good. Stepping up again into down dog, curling our toes underneath our shins. We're going to lift our hips up, and then we're going to walk our feet into our fingertips, coming into a forward fold with our feet planted under our hips, allowing our heads to hang heavy. Option, of course, is to wrap the hands under the feet. Option to reach for the inside of the elbows, to rotate, shift, or to bring the hands on top of the back, whatever feels good. You know what your body needs. Just listen to it. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Good. And we'll slowly roll ourselves up like ragdolls, stacking 1 vertebrae at a time, shoulders, neck, and head, coming all the way up to standing, reaching the arms above the shoulders, arching the lower back, opening the abdomen, bringing the palms together, and then down to heart center. Good. Working through some dynamic reverse curtsies. We're going to lift our left leg off the earth, and we're going to step back through. We're going to repeat this, finding stability and strength in the right leg as we bring our left leg up to 90. And then step back into our reverse curtsy. Building strength in the right quadricep. Calm and steady. Finding somewhere to gaze at. Let's go through 2 more. And on this last one, we're going to come back up. We're going to come into a reverse curtsy, and we're going to come into a prayer twist here, holding our reverse curtsy. Option to hover the left foot off the earth. Single leg here, prayer twist, finding somewhere to gaze at, finding grounding in our right foot. Focusing on our breath. Maybe even repeating our affirmations in our minds to work out any wobbles. Good. Placing the left foot back down. Returning to center, bringing our left leg back to 90 degrees, standing here. Oh, yay for that for the right leg. Twisting our left leg, crossing it over the right, and sinking into a half chair. Tall torsos pressing our palms together, the shoulders come down. They draw in to the spine. Good. And let's come out of that, shake it out. Ooh, well done. Work through the ankles, the quadricep that's probably firing a little bit. And we'll reset for the other side. This time the right foot draws up, 90 degrees, and then we step into our reverse curtsy. Calm and steady, finding our flow, maybe matching it to our breath. more. And on this next one, we hold the curtsy, coming into a prayer twist, and then option to lift the right foot off the earth, hovering it, finding our drishti, finding strength in our left quadricep. Gentle affirmations to work through the wobbles, reminding ourselves that we are enough, we are calm, we are strong, we are complete, and we are fierce. Bringing the right foot back down, we return to center, coming all the way up, bringing the right leg with us. Oh, yay for that. Crossing the right leg over, the left thigh, sinking into our chair, tall torso, pressing the palms together, lifting our torsos. One more big breath. Inhaling, coming all the way back up to standing, shaking that out, wiggling the ankles, crunching the toes. Yay for that. Well done, yogis. Inhaling, getting the feet back under the hips, reaching all the way up. Hands together. Exhale to heart center. Well done. We'll float through a few squats, maybe opening up our feet a bit wider than hip width so that we can come into our malasana squat. As we inhale up, we sink down on the exhale. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, rolling up like a ragdoll. We repeat, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, we lower into our malasana squat. Inhale, forward fold. Exhale, we round up. Let's repeat that 3 more times. To the speed of our breath. Working into the back body. 2 more. All the way through, 1 more time. And let's go through it. Meet up in our malasana squat. Good. Once again, pressing into the knees. With the forearms, the palms are pressed together, we're elongating the spine. And taking a few moments here to settle back into our breath. Perhaps to reflect on an intention we may have set at the beginning of our practice. To congratulate ourselves for getting through a challenging session, for getting to the mat today. And allowing our hands to come down, we're going to come back onto our knees, this time doing a few different camel sequences to build up our quad muscles a little bit more. So starting off with our hips stacked above our knees. They're about hip width apart, the knees are underneath us. We're keeping our glutes engaged, our pelvis is pressing forward, and we're going to extend our arms parallel to the floor. From here, we're going to slowly hinge back slightly, working the quadricep, working back and forward, keeping our arms extended, our glutes and pelvis are pressing forward, feeling the quadriceps light up, That's what we're building. You got it. We're not rounding the spine. We're keeping all the tension in our front body here. Maybe even starting to feel the abs light up. Let's do 2 more. Great. Come down into all fours. Shift the weight left and right. We're going to do 2 more similar camels with some dynamic motions. And we'll rinse it out in between. Great. Coming all the way back up. Keeping the hips again on top of the knees. We're in alignment here. Pelvis is pressing forward. This time, we're going to bring our hands just to the back of our hips. Again, the pelvis is forward facing. Once again, we're going to shift back and forward. We're keeping all the tension in the front body. Our lower back is not rounding. We're using the quadriceps to keep us strong and stable. Connecting to the breath. Using the Ujjayi breath to power us and to keep us calm. One more. Holding here in front, arching the lower back, pressing the pelvis forward, lifting the chest. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. 2 more big breaths. Making sure the hips are still stacked above the knees. Good. We release out of that, rounding the spine, coming into our all fours, this time pressing the earth away, rounding the spine. Good. Resetting our breath. And we inhale, coming back up for one last sequence here. Hips again are stacked on top of the knees, hip width apart. This time making fists with our hands. And we're going to bring our knuckles together behind our back. Keeping the knuckles together. Once again, rolling the shoulders back, keeping the pelvis and the glutes pressing forward. Option to rock back and forth. One last chance to build those quads. It doesn't have to be a big motion to feel the quadriceps light up. Three more. Keeping the focus on our front body, not rounding the spine here. Last one. Good. Pressing the hips forward, rounding the shoulders back, lifting the chest. Deep breaths in. Calm, steady rhythm of breath. 2 more. Good. And we come out of that, coming into all fours. Once again, pressing through the shoulder blades, rounding the spine, looking back towards our feet, shifting if that feels good. Running through cat-cows if that feels good. Two more big breaths. Then we'll slowly make our way into staff pose, Dandasana, extending our legs in front of us. Good. Let's go ahead and flex the feet so the toes are pointed to the sky, the feet are parallel. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, we hinge forward, arms parallel to the floor. Go ahead and pulse, reaching forward beyond the feet, breaking into the connective tissue of the back body. Or a passive staff pose if that feels better for you at this point. Tucking our chins into our chest, getting a little neural flossing on the back of the neck. Two more breaths. Good. Coming to stillness, we roll the vertebrae up one at a time. And let's tuck our right leg in, crossing it over the left. We're going to lift it, hugging the right leg with our left arm. And instead of bringing our right hand to the earth, we're going to keep a tall torso. We're going to reach back, reaching, extending the arm from the shoulder parallel to the floor. Getting into the hip joint, feeling all that yumminess moving around. Tall torsos engaging the back muscles. Deep breaths in, gentle twist. Two more big breaths. Filling lungs, holding at the top if that feels good. Working through any areas of discomfort, noticing how they change. Inhaling back to center we come. Let's plant the right knee across the left leg and hinge forward. So inhale, reaching the arms above the shoulders. Exhale, hinging forward, allowing the arms to fall where they will naturally. That may not be a big movement. That's all right. We support with our fingertips and we lower as the back of the left leg starts to release. We've built a lot of energy in our legs today. Now let's move it around and make sure our recovery is on track. Not only recovering from today, but recovering from whatever other exercises and classes we've done this week, or perhaps not done. Perhaps that's what we need to work through. Two more breaths here. Pressing the right knee away, actively feeling the back of the right leg and hip light up. We want to feel that vitality and energy. Inhale, rolling back up gently. And we'll extend the right leg long. And tuck the left foot across the right. Wrapping, this time, the right arm around it. Lifting the leg off the earth so that the left foot is hovering. Feeling all that yumminess in the left hip and the hip flexor. And once you're stable with a tall torso, go ahead and open up the chest. Reaching the left arm parallel to the floor, extending from the shoulder. Deep breaths in. Option, of course, to bring the hand down if that feels more stable for you today. Finding whatever works for us in this moment. Checking in with our breath, checking in with any areas of discomfort, and of course the energy rushing through us. Good, one more big breath. And we'll come back to center, lowering our left leg, figure four, inhaling, reaching the arms above the shoulders. Hinging over the right leg, keeping the right toes flexed, finding our hands wherever they will naturally. Feeling all the electricity in the back of the right leg. Breathing the right leg long. Bringing our attention to all that energy Deep breath in, we stack the vertebrae, coming all the way back up, tall torsos, finding our way into an easy seated position. However that works for you, ankles in front of one another or stacked on top. And we'll bring our hands to the back of our legs, or to the thigh muscles, the knees, wherever. Palms are facing up, rolling our shoulders up and back, tall torso, keeping our abdomen and our pelvis engaged. Eyes open or closed, whatever feels best. Taking a few deep breaths in through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. Once again, noticing the muscles in our faces and shoulders soften as they melt towards the earth. Breathing in new light, freshness. Holding in all that good energy that we've created and sighing out any residual tension or energy that doesn't serve us. Coming back to our affirmation or our intention, perhaps setting a new one for the days ahead. With smiles on our faces, we give thanks for the opportunity to practice. We give thanks for the community. We give thanks for Chris's efforts to bring people together, to keep us all connected. And we give thanks for our bodies, for the strength that our bodies gave us today to get through our practice and to create mental clarity and space in our brains. Taking this new energy with us and sharing our gratitude and love with those around us. I thank you for spending an hour of your time with me today. I wish you a lovely continuation. Namaste.